All right, welcome back, everybody. October is upon us. All right, big up all the October people. Wade, how you doing, bro?
I'm here, man. Just taking it
Uh,
easy,
All right, so from we're going into the international break. Club football takes a back seat, and we're back to the World Cup qualifiers. All right, so make we get into the business, right?
Right.
First thing first, make we get the money matters out of the way, right? The GFF is seeking some assistance from the government through the SDF, the Sports Development Foundation. All right. Um, First thing before we get into the article, um, Sports Development Foundation. What do? It looks like they provide support in the form of cash and other things to different sports or sporting bodies across the nation. All right. So this is coming from a Jamaica Observer article that came out this week, September 27th to be exact, and it's written by Sanjay Myers. All right. It's titled "Under Review: Government Agency Mulls GFF Cash Request." All right. Sports Development Foundation General Manager Denzel Wilkes says the agency is in discussion with the Jamaica Football Federation about helping to offset the expenses for the Reggae Boyz World Cup qualifying campaign. All right, Wade. So in the recent weeks, we have heard both the president and the general secretary, Dalton. Big up yourself, Dalton. Ask about money or speak about money or the lack thereof. You know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
have been wondering. News is also coming out that the marketing manager has resigned. I don't know how true that is. I haven't really seen it in print anywhere yet. And also, if we think back to the signing of a certain marketing agency that was supposed to handle contracts in North America and so forth, it's really curious though that they're in the point where they're cash strapped. You know what I mean? After signing these so-called gurus on top of the marketing people that you already had working inside the GFF, and their job was to attract sponsors and bring in money. When you look at the quality of players that we have in the team and the status of some of these players, why are we not attracting sponsorship? Any thoughts?
No, I mean, I really don't understand. It seems very vague to me. Because they already are getting 3.5 million a month from the SDF. So, and they didn't quite state in the article how much more money they're gonna get. So, I'd love to hear some more specifics. And that marketing agency, or even forget about that marketing agency. I'd love to know why they're struggling to get corporate sponsorship when Jamaica is already a brand in itself and is one of the bigger brands globally. Say Ajax launched a kit with a Bob Marley theme kit, sold out on the first day and crashed the website.
Exactly.
I mean, so why can't we get? They need to buy.
Why do we have money problems? Why does the GFF have money problems? I think the biggest thing with them is a lack of forward planning. But before I let my opinion take over this video, let's get back to the articles and run through some of the facts and the numbers so we can really have a proper discussion about this. All right. So it says government-run SDF, which provides grants for sporting bodies, allocated 3.5 million to Michael Ricketts-led GFF each month. All right. So that's a 3.5 million Jamaican dollar. All right. However, the cash-strapped Football Federation, struggling to attract corporate sponsorship, has made a proposal for additional funding, citing the Senior Men's World Cup qualifying ambitions. All right. There is a general request that has come to us to assist with their preparations for the World Cup, including all upcoming games. We are in discussions with them. That's under consideration, but no decision has been made as yet, Wilkes told the Jamaica Observer. The amount of 3.5 million is their subvention and is different from if a competition is coming up and they request funding toward that, he said. GFF General Secretary Dalton Wint told the Observer that the women's and men's programs are in desperate need of a cash injection. All right. The GFF is cognizant that the next year will be the 60th anniversary of our Jamaica's independence and the 60th anniversary of the existence of the GFF. We would love for both teams to qualify for the World Cup to represent that to the people of Jamaica. If it is impossible for the Jamaica Football Federation to do it alone, we need corporate Jamaica and we need the government to stand side by side with us, he said. All right. So from that first thing there, before me even continue, um, so no requests were made for cash at the for additional cash, which is allowed and is a norm from what I'm understanding from the article. You get that interpretation?
Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
wonder what is really being done. It doesn't sound like anything new is really being done, you know?
Yeah. The
You just,
request
you
is
know, because
being
they're even discussing that, you know, they have nothing has been definitive yet. That means, I mean, that sounds like then nothing is being done really,
yeah.
you know?
Well, they couldn't have done anything if the request is just coming in now. So that is my problem. Why is the request coming in now when you're going into the campaign already start? Um, from what I hear from Mr. Wilkes, it sounds like he had expected this request before. You know what I mean?
Right.
He clearly states that the money that they give them now, the 3.5 million Jamaican, which isn't a lot. You know what I mean? When you consider the scale of what it takes to qualify for a World Cup. I think he's making it clear that he knows that that money cannot like carry the team to qualifications. You know what I mean? And
Right.
if the team isn't getting the corporate sponsorship, they should have made the request to the SDF from probably the start of the campaign. I don't know. Am I interpreting it wrong?
Well, what is for sure is that it's confusing, and
Yeah.
this confusion is what you know is another symptom of what we keep talking about with JFF, poor communication, and
Mm,
it's also highlighting also what we also keep talking about with JFF, which is poor planning, right?
yeah.
Why at this stage of the game are we now seeking more funds from a body that is already giving us funds, government funded,
Mhm.
but yet we don't even know how much more funds we plan to receive, you know? At least
Well,
get that out of the way and done.
well, they're saying it's going to take 400 million, I think, for the entire process. All right, let me continue so we can get the numbers out there and discuss it properly. They're saying the women's program, which relies extensively on financial support from the Bob Marley Foundation, has crucial upcoming engagements. The senior reggae girls who qualified for the 2019 World Cup finals in France will in November begin their campaign for a crack at the 2023 Global Football Showpiece. The boys who reached the France 1998 World Cup finals have played 3 of 14 scheduled matches in the 2022 CONCACAF Octagon stage, with the GFF estimating a bill so far of just over $100 million. So, um, you play one round and you bill your accounts department. That 400 million isn't gonna cut it. Because if you play the first round and you spend 100 mil already, brother. Airfare, including for players traveling from various parts of the world, and accommodations, account for nearly 70% of that total. I mean,
Yeah.
um, Wint had previously stated that the campaign, which runs into next year, will cost the local body upwards of US 4 million at the final tally. Oh, not 400 million Jamaican, but 4 million US dollars. When you convert that now, 4 million US are how much Jamaican?
That's like
Boom.
almost seven and a half, 700.
585.
You sure it's 500?
580. Yeah, and 585 $251,200.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
Um that now gonna cut it, bro. And you have to budget over budget because of COVID. Anybody who are run a business should know that. All right, because you don't know what kind of delays and expenses you're gonna incur because of COVID and its restrictions. All right, which part would I know, Wade?
I wasn't
All
following
right,
along with you.
airfare. Yeah, man, airfare. They must say the part about the airfare and the hotel and the accommodations come up to 70% of that total, right?
Right.
Wint had previously stated the campaign, which runs into next year, would cost the local body upwards of US 4 million at the final tally, which we are saying Mr. Wilt is short. All right, so we're sitting last in the 18th table with a solitary point after a 2-1 defeat to host Mexico, following a humiliating 3-0 loss at home to Panama and a 1-1 draw to Costa Rica. All right, we already know Mexico is thing there. All right, our next qualifier is against the United States in Texas on October 7th, followed by a home game against Canada 3 days later, and their October 13th fixture with Honduras in San Pedro Sula. Wilkes, who said there had been no JFF request for funding ahead of the Panama home fixture, confirmed that the SDF had previously given assistance beyond the general cash allocation. All right, remember the part, all right, because that's what we said to you. They have to report to us on a quarterly basis as to how it is utilized. That is the money. We know for a fact that much of it is used in terms of salaries for staff. They run so many different age group competitions, and they are continuously seeking to qualify for various competitions, from the age group all the way up to the Senior World Cup, the SDF general manager explained. He emphasized that the government agency has also backed the local Premier League by providing funding for clubs and and the Professional Football Jamaica Limited, PFJL. All right. No, they go on to tell you how much thing they money them spend with Premier League and all of that, but I'm not going to get into that. First of all, JFF, with seeing that you don't have you're going into the campaign and you didn't have the funds. Why is it no that they're making the request? Um, Also from the SDF part, 3.5 million Jamaican dollars. Let me not get that wrong. 3.5 million Jamaican dollars to
Yeah,
the
that's what they're
JFF
currently getting monthly. They're currently getting that
monthly, and
monthly.
they say it's mostly to cover staff, right?
Salaries and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably see that whole 3.5 million probably not even covering the entire staff salary, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, JFF not the money. Them need, like, to be honest with you, the 3.5 million dollars probably shouldn't even be mentioned.
What's scary is that they said that they're struggling to get corporate sponsorship, because that means that they're fading into obscurity. Is it that they're not relevant anymore? You know what I mean? Nobody cares what's going on with Reggae Boyz.
And
So
it's sad.
You know,
It's sad. I
it
don't
is
think.
sad.
I think it's a reflection of them not knowing how to handle the product.
I think it's a reflection of the performance over the years. Because I mean, we have adults of voting age right now who never saw Jamaica play in the World Cup. They don't have that
Yeah,
they don't have
but
that
you have to
bond.
remember. No, you have to remember now. You know, these recent like younger generation fans will have seen the Reggae Boyz perform decent at the Gold Cup, or well, go to 2 Gold Cup finals, which we never saw when we were younger. They've seen them go to the Copa America and represent themselves well. So they have seen Jamaica play good football. They just haven't seen them on the pinnacle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that means the product cannot be that bad then, that you can't market it. You have world class or world players that are playing on the world stage right now at the highest level of football in the team, and you tell me say, yo, you can't get this yourself together for use them money for attract some sponsors.
Well, I think what you're talking about, those competitions are more for the more informed fan, right? Not your casual fan, right? The casual fan only knows about World Cup. Them probably don't know about a Gold Cup, who play in that, any of that, right? All they know is
I
World
wouldn't
Cup.
agree with that. You'd be surprised how much people are into the Gold Cup or into the World Cup. Or you know what I noticed as somebody who was covering the Reggae Boyz weight.
What's that?
Um there's no in between in terms of unless it's the YouTube bloggers, there's nothing that keeps the Reggae Boyz relevant in between the time when they're playing. The only thing
Mhm.
that keeps them relevant is the bloggers on YouTube.
Right.
And that shouldn't be their job. That's why you have a marketing department. That's why you have this, you have that. You have local Reggae Boys that you have access to. You have Reggae Boys overseas, all over the world. You have gentlemen playing on the African continent, in Europe, in South America, in North America. You understand?
Yeah.
Um, so therefore, you have the opportunity to make yourself a global brand, right? You know what I mean? Um, I think it's a lack of know-how. I think the old boys club need to break up around GFF, and some people with some proper expertise need to come in and be hired. The hiring process needs to be looked at, because we don't forget about the marketing company in a GFF, and they have produced zero results. You know what I mean? We're not even going to slander nobody or get into nothing, but they have produced zero results. We don't know how much the contract was for. You know what I mean? We don't know what their KPIs were or what they were supposed to do. The article said
Yeah,
they were
but,
supposed to.
but the fact that we have to be seeking more government assistance in terms of funding means that they didn't do their job.
Yeah,
Because
and
it's
even
supposed to secure corporate sponsorship.
yeah, and even to the point where they're lackadaisical on securing the funding. You know what I mean?
Right, we're already, the campaign has already started. You don't have enough money to go to the next step.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you expect fans to have confidence in it if there's always an issue? You know what I mean? Hopefully the SDF can help them out. They said they're considering it. Up to now, we're not hearing nothing back from it, so we'll follow up with that one the way. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Definitely, definitely. All right, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And remember, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.